for Mrs. McAdams class period 1, and I did my book report on Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte.
Don't cling to me, I swear I can't fix you.
Okay, so characters. The main character of the book is Catherine Earnshaw and also Heathcliff. Next will be Catherine Linton by her maiden name. The climax of the story is the death of Mrs. Catherine Linton, so this would be the original Catherine in the story. She dies of tuberculosis. And then the understatement in this story is when Mr. Lockwood had seen at first Wuthering Heights as a shack, which also must contain shabbier people. In fact, actually, Heathcliff was quite wealthy at the time. Personification. During the near end of Heathcliff's life, he begins to see his childhood friend Catherine in every object, human being, and animal that he comes in contact with. Antithesis. Love transcending time is contradicted when Heathcliff and Hindley begin destroying everyone else's lives and their relationships with one another. Paradox. Nellie, who is the maid that goes throughout the story and also the narrator, talks about Heathcliff's final days when she believes he began to go mad and begins to see things. And after death, a boy sees two ghosts, believing one to be a woman and the other to be Heathcliff. Symbolism. In the end, a boy is holding two lambs who are afraid to approach the figures. Those two lambs could represent innocence, afraid to walk up to the sin, the figures whose souls still wait on earth, or could represent Christianity, for once Catherine had a dream that she was thrust out of heaven. The lambs could represent that she had never been taken back. Anaphora. There's a section in the book that speaks of undying love Catherine has for Heathcliff, explaining to Nellie that she and Heathcliff and she are a single entity. And once again, after her death, when Heathcliff exclaims he cannot live without his soul, is an anaphora of what she had stated about him in previous chapters. Euphemism. Since Nellie was rather cold towards Heathcliff, she stated the way his funeral took place rather matter-of-factly, and also when describing and retelling the story, on the whole, many parts remain callous, lacking both sympathy or emotion, just plain fact. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you to bear with me as I finish the rest of my report. It's kind of weird talking to my computer in the middle of the night. So, first of all, Catherine Linton's diary. Let me read my little script here. Catherine Linton's diary was found by Mr. Lockwood on his visit to Wuthering Heights, and through this novel, her spirit returns to haunt Heathcliff. Heathcliff states that he has looked for her spirit everywhere, and thus the reader must assume that it's possible that by reading the diary, perhaps Mr. Lockwood had brought her spirit to light. And the letter. The letter is addressed to Linton, who is the second-generation Heathcliff, who was abused by his father into luring the love-struck second-generation Catherine Linton through the passing of love notes and false words, so that one day they might marry. In this way, Heathcliff would gain the Linton fortune after the demise of his son and his later father-in-law, Edgar Linton. The Golden Seal. Here you go. The Golden Seal is engraved with the letter E, actually originally because it was my seal, but in this circumstance it's for Earnshaw, which was the maiden name of the first Catherine and the later surname of the young Catherine Earnshaw. It also represents Hindley Earnshaw, who is at first the villain in the story. The alcohol bottle. In this case, I'm using it as a medicine bottle to represent the many bouts of illness that occur throughout the book, taking away most of the main characters, including Catherine Earnshaw, the original one, Edgar Linton, who was her husband, Isabella Linton, which was her sister-in-law, and Linton Heathcliff, who was the son of Heathcliff. And this causes many problems throughout the story. The spool of thread, a little piece of yarn here. The main narrator of the story is Nellie Dean, who was a maid at Mr. Lockwood's house, and she also lived throughout the story. And so she's telling this to the character while knitting and sewing. It draws the kind of personality Nellie has as well, and also displays that she has been through many experiences in her old age. It can be also identified with the string being as long as the story, and she, by knitting the thread together, connects the lives of all those who participate in the story, first generation and second generation.
Don't wanna forget how it feels without a
Thanks for watching my video.